Hi everybody, welcome to the 4th episode of Little Shop of Nerds. I'm Julia.
Mike.
And if you remember, last week's hint was students, please take your seats.
Well, Jules, when you think of an anime teacher, what do you think?
Are you talking about the heartthrob, the skank, or the octopus looking one?
Neither.
Okay.
I'm talking about the one that has blonde hair, is an ex-motorcycle gang member, a chain smoker, and a pervertic.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a lot of teachers in anime.
Well, it sounds like it, but this one came from the 90s.
Okay.
And today's episode is G.T.O. And before you guys saying, that's a car name, G.T.O. stands for Great Teacher Onizuka. So,
Okay, so I watched the first episode last night, and I have some concerns about him.
A lot of people do.
Because he's 22 years old, and he's into high school girls.
That's only the first episode. Then, then he falls in love with a teacher.
Okay, so at least he doesn't get with any of the high school girls. Because, I mean, the one teacher that was there got let go because he had a relationship with a student.
Well, that's later in the season, but yes, that's...
No, it happened in the first episode.
Well, technically... Okay, yeah, that was...
Okay, so apparently it happens again.
Yes, but this was a different teacher, so...
Okay.
Alright. What everyone wants to know is that Onizuka is a teacher. Somehow, I don't know how he got a teacher with his attitude and everything else. But yes, he is perverted, chain smoker, he drives a motorcycle, and yes, your typical bad boy delinquent, he has blonde hair. Not a shocker.
Well, I mean, so does he continuously have to dye his hair blonde?
I don't think so.
Because I think it's probably natural.
It is natural, because he doesn't dye it in the show.
So I also noticed something when I was watching the first episode last night. So, the voice actor for Great Teacher Onizuka sounded very familiar. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So then I watched the credits, and he is credited as David Lucas.
Right.
So I looked up David Lucas. And it was pulling up a comedian. So then I had to put in David Lucas anime. And it pulled up Steve Bloom.
Ah.
Steve Bloom is the voice for Spike from Cowboy Bebop.
Ah. So, in one way...
Spike is Onizuka.
So, pretty much so, yes.
It is now canon that Spike is Onizuka.
Yep, that's true. It's pretty much spot on. But, yes.
I thought it was hilarious.
But yes, and further in the series, he is perverted. But there's times when you do see him, he is being serious, but there's times he acts like a goof off. Somehow he gets a job at Holy Forest Academy. Sorry for all the weebs out there, but yes, what he does is he helps. When he gets a job there, the principal there wants him there because he's pretty much a thug. He's stubborn. He's not going to take shit lying down.
Well, he managed to get his class of delinquents to settle down.
Well...
And that's only because he beat the shit out of 3 of them.
Yes. Well, there's a reason why the principal gave him this typical class at Holy Forest Academy, because these students kept getting these teachers to quit, and they know it. They couldn't do anything about it, so they tried everything. That's why she chose Onizuka. Sorry for the
mispronunciation.
Yes, because I know all of you guys are going to be like, that's not how you pronounce it. So right now, just bear with me.
Okay, but so was the reason why they kept quitting, the teachers quitting, was it because of that thing that Mizuki was the setup that Mizuki and the boys were doing?
Well, technically, it was actually
Aizawa. Miyabi Aizawa. But they called her Mizuki.
Well, they do, yes. It's because I know in the manga it's different because when I read some parts about the manga, Mizuki had a crush on her teacher and she did anything to blackmail him and other stuff. But in the anime, which we're talking about, is she had a friend who had relations with a teacher, with their homeroom teacher, pretty much, and she got her pregnant. But here's the thing: Mizuki knew, and the teacher and the girl he got pregnant, they went forward, told the school board, the head of the school board, and everything, saying they're going to get married, did the right thing. But here's the thing: this is how you can tell the corruptness of the school board. They moved the teacher to another school. Nothing would happen. There's no scandal. But they also did terrible things they did with the student, and she pretty much killed herself and the baby she had inside her. That's why Azuki That's why she didn't trust teachers from now on, because what they did. But here's the thing: the teacher who had the relations with that student didn't know she killed herself. He didn't know. That's why when Azuki came by, spoilers alert, tries to kill him. But
Mizuki tries to kill Onizuka or the teacher?
The teacher, not Onizuka.
Okay. So then the teacher, you said that the teacher didn't know that that the girl had offed herself.
No, he did not. So what he did is, when Azuki's holding the knife, he grabs it and forces it in him because he wants to die because he didn't know.
So then he dies too?
Technically, no. Sorry if everybody was trying to think that. It didn't. That's when Onizuka comes, helps her, takes him to a friend who's a police officer, was also an ex-gang member, named Tashiyuki. And he told him, just have her be here because she's part of a murder. But here's the thing: Onizuka was going to go to jail for her because he knew everything that she knew. We did not want to tell him. So he does this so he can go to jail for her. And she confessed. He doesn't go to jail. Then he goes to another school, teach another thing of delinquents. But that's just it. It wasn't just that one student he helped. He pretty much helps the other students who are being destructive, being pain in the ass.
Wait, so does Onizuka go to different schools and teaches different classes of delinquents?
I don't know because
that's what it sounds like.
Well, through the whole series, it's just at Holy Frost.
Okay.
Holy Forest Academy. Anyways, that's only it. But at the end of the season, at the end credits, he goes to another school, which is in California, and he helps the students, the delinquents there. Because one thing about him, he's teaching the students about life, because they need to know what's going to happen when they're adults, when you need to learn, and everything, pretty much. He helps a student. I'm trying to find
Yurumi Kanzaki.
Yeah, Yurumi Kazaki, because she's a genius, pretty much.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Why she didn't like teachers, because one of her teachers, when she was in grade school, middle school, whatever, told her one of her secrets, that because one thing about her is, about Yumi, is because she's really smart. She outsmarts the teachers, and pretty much nobody likes the teacher because, she outsmarts them.
So the teacher's dumb, basically,
yeah.
compared to her.
Yes. But here's the thing: the vice prince Onizuka wants to teach her a lesson. But here's the thing: the principal Hiroshi, Principal Hiroshi, and when you see him, he's a freaking tool. Come on, he's like your typical vice principal, bald, wears glasses, old as fuck, only cares about his car and his family, so pretty much. But here's the thing. He wants to get Onizuka out because he's a thug, and by one thing he doesn't know, he's actually helping the students out. But with Yumi, he doesn't want to touch her or do his special teachings because she's a genius, because it brings good news to the school, blah, 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 bullshit. But here's the thing. Onizuka, what he does, he gets all of his ex-motorcycle gang member buddies, tells her to come with us, and he takes Yumi, straps her to the front of the bike, and she keeps telling about the reason of fear, the chemicals in the brain, whatever. And when she sees the bridge that's not completely fixed, not completely done, she says, "Oh, you're going to stop before you even hit the edge." Well, here's the thing. He goes over the edge. There's a net that catches him.
Okay.
But he's trying to tell him, I know you're smart. That's good to be smart. But when you keep correcting the teachers and stuff, and you're going to do that as an adult, it's going to be annoying. So
it almost sounds like she should be like in a higher grade or be in college at that point.
Yeah.
And not stuck in high school, because if she's a prodigy and if she has a high IQ, then she definitely needs to be where...
Well, why she's not in that, because she keeps missing school and shit, so... But it's like he helps other students, There's one time he tries to get money for a school trip because one of the students took it to buy a watch, and he covers their ass. He helps other students, but he also helped a kid who was getting bullied by Aniko. And her mother, if you ever see her mother, think of a Karen, but with not the haircut, and cares way too much about the PTA.
Almost looks like Skeletor.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, what she doesn't know that her daughter kept bullying Noboru, because here's the thing, and this is, you can tell this is the 90s for you, is because the inappropriateness that could find people offensive.
Believe me, the first thing you see when you start the first episode is Onizuka looking up high school girls' skirts at their panties.
Well, what Aniko does to Noboru is not just bullying, straight up harassment. She gets her friends, they grab him, they undo his, takes off his clothes, they ride on him, and they wrote in Japanese, which I can't say because it's a word that's a slander against the LGBTQ plus community.
Was it the F word?
Yeah, so...
Oh, yeah. I can't say that on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you guys know what that is, if not, but you're... ask a friend who's part of that group.
Don't even do that.
Yeah, well, either that.
But I think most people would probably know what you're talking about, though.
Right, well, but either way, he helps them because he was almost ready to commit suicide, and Onizuka pretty much found where they were doing karaoke, tied him up, and pretty much gave him a spanking for what they did.
That sounds not creepy at all.
Oh, it's even weirder. He takes...
because that was a girl, right?
All three of them were girls in high school.
And he gave them spankings.
Yeah.
You know how creepy that sounds?
It's even creepier how they were like this.
And so did they have him, so did he, have them...
No, he just spanked them just to teach them a lesson for bullying Noboru. Sorry about the pronunciation, so please forgive me. But
I'm a little bit better at it than he is.
Yes. So what he does is He even takes pictures. Onizuka did that. I'm like,
oh dear God.
I'm like, jackass. Why would you do that shit?
Okay, he's creepy.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Onigo's mother found out and he wanted to get fired. But here's the thing.
Noboru.
In front of the whole auditorium, she said, you shouldn't fire him because your daughter has been bullying me. So he takes off his clothes and shows that marker that never washed out. But she's like, well, you don't know that. He could have done that just to save his teacher. Well, here's the thing. There's a student named... He's a smart guy. His name is...
Yoshito.
Yoshito. And one thing about Yoshito, he's really smart with computers. He's a hacker. He can...
Did he record it happening?
What happened is, Onigo and her 3 friends were at a diner, pretty much, or a restaurant. They just said what's going to happen and stuff. He recorded them and played it over the PA at the auditorium.
Okay, so the girls basically got in trouble. I hope the girls got in trouble by
They
the
did.
school board. Okay.
They did, but they didn't get suspended. But
totally should have been expelled for something like that.
yes, they should have. What they did wasn't just bullying; it was complete
That was harassment.
harassment. But so far, there's more stuff he teaches the kids about life to help them along with the journey, and pretty much everything. He does like another teacher, but he's always perverted against her. And there's one teacher, the teacher he's in love with is
Azusa.
And she's pretty much pretty, typical. He likes her. But here's another thing. There's another guy. He's a teacher.
So there's another guy that's actually dying for her affection?
Yeah. And it's...
Okay, so he is... Suguru.
One thing about Suguru, he's like a stalker, pretty much. He's got the picture of Azusa, like in his apartment. He's like has his camera and his telescope pointing at her apartment.
Man.
And he's like, and I'm like,
that's not creepy at all.
I'm like, call the police.
You probably should call the police if he is stalking her and looking into her apartment with his telescope.
Well, yeah, but yeah, they don't do that for some effing reason.
Well, I mean, this whole anime is like fucked up though, so...
Well, in my opinion, it's... Okay, if anyone who... Whoops. Okay, let's just say...
He's over here dropping shit, people.
Okay, let's just say anyone who gets offended easily...
Probably shouldn't watch this.
No.
I only watched the first episode, and I was regretting my choices to watch it. I probably will finish the series, though, because, I mean, even though I was regretting watching it, I was actually kind of enjoying myself. But, yeah, there's definitely some moments in the first episode where I am concerned. Excuse that. That is my dog, and we have the people that live below me are having a birthday party. So, if you hear my dog barking, it's because he hears them. And if you hear anything other than us, it's them.
Yeah, pretty much. And but yeah, pretty much in my opinion, I watched because I was curious. I should have stopped, but I was like, nah, let's keep going. Might as well. I was already halfway through it, so I might as well just finish it.
The first episode, though, was like 48 minutes long, which is
that's
unusual for an anime series. But, I mean, you did have Oshinoko, which is a new one that just came out. The first episode was an hour and a half long, and I'm still trying to finish that first episode of that one.
Well, the first episode of Demon Slayer Swordsmith arc, that first episode was 49 minutes, pretty much.
And then when Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War arc, when that came out, the first episode was an hour long, though. Or, no, it wasn't the first. It was the last episode. But they basically just released 2 episodes at the same time. So it wasn't quite an hour. It was an hour, but not like a continuous hour.
But so far, the regular times, I think they're, 24 minutes, maybe 25? Maybe
they're
20.
roughly about 24 minutes because, they have to have time for commercial breaks and stuff like that. So they're roughly only 24 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it was it was the girl Mizuki. She kept taking off her panties, and I kept saying, "Girl, put your panties back on. You don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be exposing yourself to the teacher, to Onizuka," which she did at the end of the episode, which I'm concerned about that. Considering she's 16 and he's 22, so...
Well, I'm surprised how they didn't I'm surprised how they didn't have him go to a house and Chris Hansen was behind the corner.
I mean, I'm surprised Chris Hansen didn't make an appearance in this as well.
Well...
Because he definitely should have been there.
I know, I was like, can you have a seat? What are you doing
Mr.
here?
Mr. Onizuka, please take a seat.
What are you doing here?
So, but yeah, that was, he's seen more of it, than I have. Like I said, I only watched the first episode last night. And it was, I mean, the premise is good. I mean, I understand, I definitely understand, him wanting to help all the students, because he was a delinquent himself, so I can understand that. But his motivations are a little...
Weird,
creepy, and I was getting some bad vibes from it, but I will probably finish this series.
And I would say, I would give it, and like for the others, if you get offended easily, please reconsider, don't watch it, because this is from the 90s, and let's just say stuff from the 90s were...
Well, I mean, at least it's not as bad as Interspecies Reviewer. Interspecies Reviewer was a lot worse than Great Teacher Onizuka. We might talk about that later, though, about Interspecies Reviewer.
Alright.
But, yeah, there was a lot of, like, really sus things that was going on.
Oh, definitely much. In my opinion, I would recommend this for adults, but only for the adults who have a thick skin that know it's messed up, but you're like, let's go ahead and watch it anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just, there was just some very suspect things, and I may finish watching the series.
I have, and I regretted it.
Was it that bad?
I give it a 5. I give it a 5-star review.
Sorry. 5-star review.
I'm sorry, I messed up.
You give it a 5 out of 10.
Yes, and I give it 2 stars. Just to be safe, I would just say, yeah, be 5 out of 10, pretty much. The storyline ain't bad. A teacher trying to help out their students, but when you mix in the whole perverted shit, that's just gonna be like, what the hell? Where's the fucking police or something? What the hell?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get arrested when he got pulled over for speeding, because that was a little weird.
Oh, you should have seen when he tries to speed with a truck.
Oh, God.
In a semi-truck at that.
Oh, well, I mean, don't think you can go very fast in a semi-truck.
Well, just watch the second episode, you'll realize. But so far, I would watch it. And when you do watch it, you can watch it on Crunchyroll. They're not a sponsor. So every time you hear of us with the streaming service, they're not sponsoring us.
Yeah, so it is on Crunchyroll. That's how I watched it last night.
But when you look for it, put in G.T.O.
Yeah, because I tried to look it up and I put in Great Teacher Onizuka and it didn't come up. So make sure you put in just G.T.O. and it should pop up for you.
And also, like I said, Crunchyroll is not sponsoring us. But Crunchyroll, if you are listening to us, Please sponsor us.
I think they're pretty aware. I think our listeners are aware that they're not sponsoring us. So,
but please, Crunchyroll.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. I don't think there's anything else more we want to talk about with Great Teacher Onizuka. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Pretty much everything. Subscribe to us for our next content. We post every Sunday at 3, so give us a chance and you'll be like, Strules, give us the next hint for the next week episode.
The next hint is all that jazz.
And
that is it. So we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.